everyone. Fall is here. I can't believe it. In the south right now, we're having these cooler temperatures during the day. The leaves are just starting to turn. But what I wanted to talk to you today is about basil. If you're like me, your basil's getting ready to go. I have some with these little dark spots. I don't know if you can see them. Black spots starting at the bottom. You can't use those. So I harvest my basil every year about this time. I have a freezer full of pesto. I don't need any more pesto. So what can we do with all this lovely basil? It's so fragrant. I don't want to waste it. So I came up with this recipe to make some homemade basil salts. Now, I give away homemade vanilla extract every year to a few of my favorite people. And this year, they're going to also get a little basil salt. So if you're one of those people, you may be seeing something in your Christmas basket. All right, so how do we do this? This is really simple. We need 1/3 cup of packed basil. So 1/3 cup to 1 cup of sea salt. Use good sea salt. Don't use cheap salt. It's not going to work. And our handy dandy trusty food processor. I'm using this Hamilton Beach food processor. I love this. I sell a ton of these on Amazon. So if you're wanting to see some information on those, we have an Amazon page called Love of Food NC, and you can go ahead and find us on Amazon and look at all the products that we highly recommend. That's not the reason I'm doing this. The reason I'm doing this is I want to help you come up with some ways to make some lovely salts. Now, you can use other flavors aside from basil. Today, I'm going to use the basil one. I'm also going to be using this device behind me. This is the Instant Vortex Air Fryer Oven. I love this. It's a convection. It's a rotisserie. It does all these wonderful things. But we're going to be using it today just as a regular oven. If you don't have one of these, that's okay. You can just use your regular oven. But this will heat up faster, take up less electricity. This will be done in no time. We're going to be chopping up some basil, that 1/3 cup of basil, getting it onto our tray and into our oven for about 20 to 25 minutes. And then we are going to then mix it back in with the salt. So again, this was an Instant Omni Plus Air Fryer Oven. Absolutely love this thing. We rotisserie'd a chicken last night in it. It was fabulous. It was probably the best rotisserie chicken we've ever had. Since I've had this, we haven't been using a toaster anymore. That's gone out of my house. Love that. We haven't been using the oven as much, so we're not turning on the oven and taking up all of that electricity, gas, and using all the, the energy waste that you have in an oven. I'm not heating up my entire house. I'm just turning on this. Okay, anyway, that's enough of my pitch for the Instant Omni Plus. Okay. You can dehydrate it in as well, but we're not dehydrating today. We're just going to bake these leaves, and I think that that's going to make it fantastic. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to show you the entire process. What I say is I have already washed my basil. That's the first thing I did when I brought it in, and I just want it to dry out just a little bit on some paper towel before I process it and work with it. All right, what I want to end up with is 1/3 of a cup. Now, I'm going to only strip the leaves that don't have the black spots. So I'm going to take those off and push those aside because I don't want to use those, because when they have the black spots, they can be bitter. All right, let's go ahead and process this down, see what we end up with. All right. I love this little mini food processor. So convenient. All right, let's see what we end up with. Do we have a third? If not, we got to go get some more basil, or we have to cut back on the amount of salt. I would say that's about a third of a cup. So we're good to go. We're going to put this back into the processor. We're going to put our salt in. And I'm using coarse sea salt. So make sure you're using a good coarse sea salt. And what we're going to want to do is we're going to break up that salt and mix that basil in. What's really cool is the color. So see, it's turned more like an avocado-y color, but all the salt has been now colored green. It smells so good. All right, we're going to take this and we're going to go ahead and we're going to lay it right out onto our pan. You do have to keep it covered once you process it in a very tight, like a mason jar type of container. I recommend the ball mason jars. We also show those on Amazon. So remember, that's Level Food and C on Amazon. So you can get to our page there. We'll put the link in the video as well so that you can buy any of those products that we're talking about. All right, so now I've got my salt spread out. I think it's a nice thin layer, enough to dry it out. I got some thickness here, so I'm going to just try and make it as even as possible. There. It smells so good already, I can't even tell you. Let's go ahead and get this into the oven. This is a great opportunity for me to be able to show you this oven and how it works. But basically, you can see that it has a display here. It says it's in the off position. You touch the button and it wakes up the oven. And then you can see you have all kinds of different, you can roast, broil, bake, air fry. Over here you have convection, rotate. You can put the light on and you can warm, reheat, toast, or dehydrate. So you can do all that stuff. So in this, and it shows you where you should put your pan to broil, to air fry, to toast, to roast, and it comes with all the accessories that you need. All right, for us today, we're just gonna bake, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna bake at, I'm gonna put it up to, let's say I wanna do it bake, and I wanna do it to touch, I'm gonna say for, let's say 20 minutes, and then we're gonna check it. And if I want to make it higher, let's say 355 to 360, I could, but I'm just going to leave it on 350 for 20 minutes. And I'm going to pull out the little rack that's inside. And see, when I open it, it says that it's open. How cool is that? And when I close, it should go right back to where I had it. It's just wanting me to start, and it's telling me you're at 350 bake, which is good. And now I'm going to go ahead and slide my rack in. And it took too long, so it shut off. So that's right, we'll just wake it back up. We're going to bake at 350. We're going to just change the time back down to 20 minutes. There we go. And we're going to hit start. Now it's telling me that it's preheating. That's absolutely fine, because all we're trying to do is dry this out in the oven. If I think that 350 is too high, I may lower it to 250, and I will let you know if that is in fact the case, and then we will show you our results in just a minute. All right, we'll be back. This gets to the 10-minute mark. We're going to move it around a little bit with our spatula, just keeping it so that we're making sure that we're drying it out completely. And then we're going to check it and decide whether we're going to let it go for another 20 minutes or whether we're going to just stop at the 20-minute mark. So let's go ahead and open this up. So use your mitts. It gets very hot, which is normal. All right, let's go ahead and we're just going to mix this up a little bit. See how it's kind of sticking together, twisting up a little bit. So we want to break all those pieces back up, and we move this around. and it breaks right up, no problem at all. All right, we'll be back. All right, we've got it all broken back up. We're gonna pop it back into our oven. And I think that it's gonna be 20 minutes more or 10 minutes more. We're gonna give it a shot and see what happens. Let's give it the 10 minutes and then we'll check it again. It looks like it's drying up really nicely. 5 minutes to go, 4 minutes to go, and let's take a peek at this. Oh, that looks pretty darn good. I think it's going to be the 20 minutes is going to be the bliss time.